All right, good morning, brothers and sisters. Please, let's stand. We're gonna sing our first song. It is called This Little Light of Mine. I'm pretty sure everybody knows this song, so please sing along. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Even in my home, I'm gonna let it shine. Even in my home, I'm gonna let it shine. Even in my home, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. When I see my neighbor coming, I'm gonna let it shine. When I see my neighbor coming, I'm gonna let it shine. When I see my neighbor coming, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, 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 let it shine. One more time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right, good job, everyone. So for our second song, it's called Multiply. I'm pretty sure some of you also know this song, so please sing along. Your love is like radiant diamonds bursting inside us. We cannot contain. Your love will surely come find us like blazing wildfire, singing your name. God of mercy, sweet love of mine, I have surrendered to your design. May this offering stretch across the skies. This hallelujah be multiplied. Your love is like radiant diamonds bursting inside us. We cannot contain. Your love will surely come find us like blazing wildfire, singing your name. God of mercy, sweet love of mine, I have surrendered to your design. May this offering stretch across the skies, and these hallelujah be multiplied. Across the skies, and these hallelujah be multiplied, and these hallelujahs be multiplied. Song, we have Heart of the Father. Longing to live in deepest joy in love eternal, God was ever seeking for living in an easy world, Heavenly Parent, a world where we're filled with so many difficulties and so many struggles happening. But as today with our theme, really finding ourselves, we really want to pay attention, really bring you into our hearts so we can understand who we truly are, Heavenly Parents. Come back to you as you are our eternal and true parent, Heavenly Parent. On this Sunday, we really want everyone in this room to feel your love, to feel your presence, to feel how much they really matter to you, Heavenly Parent. So that every single day when we wake up, we think of you. Every single day when we wake up, we think of how we can really give you love, joy, and hope for the future and for the present, Heavenly Parent. We truly want to thank you for the love that you give us in our hearts every single day, no matter what we do. Heavenly Parent, you're there with us, really guarding us with your love and your protection and your blessing every single day, even when we can't see it. So on this Sunday, again, we pray that your spirit and your heart can really come into us, and as we learned this morning on morning devotion, really take this lesson into practice and not just speak of it, but really be able to be attentive as our President Naokimi will be speaking. Really want to learn from him and become the true sons and daughters that you have always envisioned since the beginning of time. Thank you for this offering, for this time and this moment. And I want to offer this prayer in my name and Ilya Hack Messenger Couple. Watch you.
The hand to our band this morning. You may all be seated. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yeah, it's been a very, very full week. There's a lot's been going on. It's our first, I believe it's the first week of January. And so much has been going on. Some of you preparing your New Year's resolutions. I still am yet to, there you go. I still am yet to sort of prepare my own goals, but I hope you're all having a wonderful start to the year. Last week we saw some new faces, and today I'm seeing some other new faces. I hope we get a chance. Actually, why don't we just do it now? Who is here for who hasn't been here in the past 3 months? Been to this church in the past 3 months? There you go. I see Jenny right there. Actually, can I just recognize Jenny and Carlson? Can you just stand up, both of you? They recently got matched, and so first, congratulations. Congratulations from our community. Feel free to say hi to them, greet them. I believe you'll be staying a little bit afterwards as well, so our community can greet you. Thank you. All right, and with that, first, let's just give thanks to Essex County. They're volunteers for today. Let's give them a hand. They're ones who greet you at the front, who are preparing food and just sort of making sure that today's Sunday service runs well. And also, tithing is always going to be, as usual, at the end of service. Together with the closing song, the offering boxes are in the front, so please hold your tithing till then, or make an online donation at any point in time throughout this service. And next, all of the recordings are all available online every week, so you just have to go to FFWPUNJ. We will change the name soon, but that's the name right now, and all you have to do is just click live, and all the live services are there in case you ever miss a Sunday service. And at this time, actually, we're going to go into, before we do that, I just want to talk about the calendars. So the 2023 calendar, some of you may be wondering, where are they? Because every year, you have it somewhere, but this year it's a little bit different, right? Headquarters is not, there's the calendar this year. And so if you would like a calendar, please just let Pastor Takino know. And we're going to be placing the order this week, and it'll be arriving maybe sometime, possibly end of the week, beginning of next week, so you can get it as well. So please tell Pastor Aquino if you'd like to have one as well. And with that, actually, we're going to go into our gratitude sharing. So please turn to someone next to you and share what you are grateful for this morning, what you've been grateful for the first week of January. And also, if you're in Sunday school, it's your time to get dismissed to Sunday school. Your teachers are waiting for you. The grade groups are right up there. Pre-K, you're in the game room, 1st, 2nd lilac, 3rd, 4th office, 5th, 6th conference, and 7th, 8th in the daffodil room. So with that, everyone, just turn to someone next to you and share what you are grateful for this morning. let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to the rooms. So much to share, my goodness. You go all day. Well, that's why there's fellowship after service.
I guess I could talk about it before the sermon. And then mention it. Yeah. And then what are these? How much are they?
These are 10 each, and this is 20.
These are 10 each, and that's 20.
Yep.
They're nice. Very simple, but it has the
Can we open this?
All right. Oh, I was on TV the entire time. Okay, so yeah, let's bring it back to the room. Okay, we'll have fellowship afterwards. Please, reserve your comments for then. You can have all day spent downstairs or upstairs after service. But with that, actually, we're gonna hear from one person to share his gratitude to everyone, and we have our one of our newest member of our community and leader, Jake Lavina.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm so grateful. Always, every Sunday is the most grateful day for me because I see my extended family here. But this week, I've been spending a pretty week. I've been meeting a lot of young people and leaders of each department of our community, as our president, Pastor Naokimi, tried to restructure and everything. So I spend most of my time of planning and reaching these people where I can learn off and I can realign everything. But the most important one this week, I had the opportunity to talk with my match about our engagement ceremony, which I think really inspires me a lot. So yeah, we have a lot of plans coming 2023, and we are excited to reach all of you, and I hope that we can really bring our community together. Have a happy Sunday.
Don't you just love Jake's energy? He's a whole vibe. You're my spirit animal. Okay, so now actually what we're going to do is this December, just like last December, I said this December, yeah, just last year December, just like 2 years ago, our Tongamudo team went to Kenya to compete in the international Tongamudo competition. And last year, they brought home a lot of medals. And this year, we have with us a couple of world champions. And so, just to introduce them, I'd like to invite up our national president of Tongamudo, Nathaniel Nitro.
Thank you, everyone. Pastor Naokimi, President Naokimi, staff, Nancy, hello. And Jake, how are you? He's a fellow black belt also, Tongamudo. He just came from Dominican Republic too. First and most, I would like to call my staff, Warlo, and thank them and recognize them. And Juan Nazar, please come forward. This is my instructor's staff. And Warlo, please come. And they are the ones that's behind the scene teaching. And without these people, we don't have Tongamudo basically, because I have a full-time job. So let me introduce our Kenya team who came back. Reverend Geller, who represent UPF in collaboration Tongamudo. We have Jangjin Ju, who bring 1 gold and 2 silver. Oh no, 2 bronze, I'm sorry. And Unmi, who also brought 1 gold and 2 silvers, 1 silver. And Master Pedro and his wife representing Dominican Republic at this time. So I'd like to, Reverend Geller actually prepared a nice report because in my behalf, I was not able to go there. I asked Reverend Geller and he agreed. So Reverend Geller actually prepared the PowerPoint for the whole report. So take it away, Reverend Geller.
Okay. Thank you. I guess you can sit down. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Okay. Got it. Thank you. All right. Well, greetings, everyone. I'm so grateful to have gone to Kenya. I'm grateful to Master Nitro. He does a great job as the national president of Tongil Mudo here in America. I learned a lot about Dr. Suk and Tongil Mudo on this trip. I'd like to start out with a brief remarks, which are everyone, or most everyone here has studied the divine principle, and you know that principle of creation teaches that we have dual characteristics, and there are two sets of dual characteristics, but I want to talk about positivity and negativity, or yin and yang. And, it is a very profound teaching, actually. Everything in this world, as the principle teaches, can be classified according to positivity and negativity. And one of the reasons I enjoy our president's sermons is he talks a lot about goal setting and the importance of goal setting. And I don't think I'm anywhere near as interested in goal setting as he is. But the important thing to me is goal setting helps us to create order in our life and purpose in our life. And that brings me to Tongil Mudo. Tongil Mudo, what you do with your right side, you do with your left side, both, legs and hands and everywhere. It's very orderly. It's an orderly system. So you can recover health or gain health by practicing something like that, because you exercise all of your body, not only your muscles, but your organs, everything. And that's a very important point. So I remember when I first joined our movement, I was really fascinated by yin and yang. And I thought, there are rules to yin and yang. One of them is like, at the extremes, yin turns to yang and yang turns to yin. And so that's kind of like what the Bible says, the last shall be first. And just one moment, I'm going to open up my notes here. Wait a minute, what happened there? Okay, so I just want to mention some of the benefits of this that can come from Tongil Mudo. One is character development. We can develop our character through disciplining ourselves. We learn respect for elders. We learn skill development of our bodies and minds. And we learn teamwork and cooperation. And we gain good health from the self-discipline and practice. So now, that's just a brief introduction. Now I'd like to discuss, or not discuss, but go through this PowerPoint. So here we are, the top right picture, you can see Master Nitro and Unmi Rangala and myself were saying goodbye at Kennedy Airport, and that's me upon my arrival in Nairobi. Nairobi is the capital of Kenya. It's about 4 million people live there. It's about, I think it's about 2,000 feet up, so it's kind of cool there. But and that there, you see, that's Unmi and her uncle, who is one of the founders. What happened? Oh, one of the founders of Tongil Mudo in Kenya. And I really consider him and his brother, Unmi's dad, as founding members of our church in Kenya. So it was really a privilege for me to meet them. This is just a picture of my hotel room. I just wanted to show everybody that there are nice hotels. That's in Mombasa. Mombasa is a city right on the coast. It's much warmer. It's right near the equator and very warm there. Beautiful, right on the Indian Ocean. And he's not here, but he was another member of our team, Master Laura, who works with Master Pedro. And yeah, Unmi and myself. We went downtown, and I don't know how many, some of you know that I'm a real foodie, so I just took a picture of some of the food. We went to a local restaurant there in Mombasa. And this is on the beach, on the Indian Ocean. And some of you may know Master Hoshiko. He taught at UTS. He lived here for 17 years. He's now one of the co-presidents of Tongil Mudo, and he was the main teacher for our tournament and prior to it. And that is Elvis, our, I guess, general affairs guy. And Master Hoshiko stayed at a really nice hotel, the Severin. This is the school where we had practices. It's run by Turkish people, surprisingly. And that's Master Hoshiko's back there. And it was a really nice little practice area. Here's some of the students there. And this is, you see me waving there from the balcony of my hotel room, and that's some of the food, again, at the Severin Hotel. This is some of our team. Master Pedro and his wife are from Dominican Republic, so we were really proud of that. We added another country to, I think, the 13 or 14 countries that were participants in the tournament. So, you know, Master Pedro actually represented DR. And that is Jungjin Ju, who is a member of our team. As you can see there, she's a black belt, and she'll be speaking a little later, as well as Master Omar and some of the team there. And here you can see our banner, the North American team, and that's Elvis and some of our team there too. And this is at the Severin Hotel. There's Master Pedro. And this is, she is the daughter of Master Ibrahim, who is the brother of Master Clarence, who's the leader of Tongil Mudo in all of Africa now. And she was just such a cutie. I really enjoyed her at the tournament. She's just such a wonderful people person. Anyway, that's the flag of Dominican Republic, by the way. What's happening here? Okay. Yeah, and that's some of our American team. I'm going to let them talk about the medals and how well we did at the tournament. But I want to point out some things. My foot is in there. It's the one with the bunion. Anyway, okay. Some other members of our team. We had a workout on the beach, and we had a press conference there. And actually, the government supported the tournament. They gave a big donation to help us, and thanks to Master Clarence and some of the others. So that was good. This is Megumi Nabeshima. She was a Japanese participant in the tournament. She was really a lovely person. And this is the assistant to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And she came and spoke to us at the tournament. Her boss, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, happened to be in America at this time, along with the President of Kenya. They were visiting our President, Biden, at this time. So it was an interesting connection there. This woman in the middle there, she is the international instructor. You can, those of you who read Korean, that says Il Won Do. It's another martial art, a little slower, more round movements, and it employs a fan also, so we were showing that. And okay, so one day when we were at a practice, that little girl there sitting next to me is one of the practitioners. She's from Nairobi, but she's visiting her uncle, who is the gentleman on the left, and we struck up a conversation at the practice, and he invited me to his home for dinner. So there I am at dinner with them, and he has 3 children, but there's 6 or 7 more children that live in his home, because there are a lot of orphaned children over there, and he wants to help them. And there's a number of more well-to-do people who often do that. Okay. So I'm just going to whip through these pictures here. This is the beginning of the tournament. And here you see Jung Jin, and that was an Indian a coach and some of the Indian participants. And here's more pictures of some of our people. And this is the gentleman. I gave a donation of clothing to him, and he distributed. Here he is distributing the clothing. We all brought things to give to the people there. And these are some of our medal winners and presenters of medals at the tournament. And I'm just going to show you here. This is a group picture and farewell Mombasa. So I'm going to turn it over to who's first, Master? Okay, Unmi Rangala, please welcome her, and she's going to share.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Unmi. I have a bit of a cold, so please bear with me. We went to Kenya together with Reverend Geller on we left here December 11th and got there on December 12th. And as Reverend Geller showed, my uncle, who was the former president of Tongamudo in Kenya and Africa, came to the airport to welcome us in Nairobi before we went to the actual venue in Mombasa. So in the beginning of the tournament, there was a lot of training we did together with Master Hoshiko. I was really grateful for that because I got to he really explained what Tongil Mudo was. It wasn't just about like fighting or being the best or anything like that. He went down into the philosophy of Tongil Mudo, which basically what true parents actually intended for Tongil Mudo to be in our movement, and not just our movement, but also in the world, which is one to help young people, the youth around the world. And it was really inspiring to see because some of the members there, Tongil Mudo members there, were non-members, especially in Kenya. So he really talked about true parents. He's like, true parents made this, and I was like, wow. So I think that was also one thing I admired, where he was just proclaiming who true parents are right in front of all these people who don't even know who they are. So yeah, and so my goal going there, before that, I was part of Achieve, a program President Naokimi and his team created for, the members in the movement. And my goal was when I was in Achieve, one of my breakthrough goals were to exercise. I do not like exercising. I think it's a lot of work, and it's instead of it being like, I always felt instead of it giving me strength, it made me feel weaker. So, I guess you can tell. Yeah, so I was determined to exercise at least once a day. Little did I know that was preparation for me to get to where I was, which was to join the Tongil Mudo team going to Kenya. So with that, my body was already prepared, at least. It was a bit, more, I had more strength in me. And so when I went to the tournament, I was more prepared for whatever was to come. So normally before, I attended a tournament before, and I always felt, I never trained before going into the tournament. So my body the next day, I remember one time I woke up the next day and my body was just like, I couldn't even move or anything. So I was scared about that happening. So I realized that was preparation for this specific moment. And yeah, so one thing I want to say is I'm grateful for Achieve. Yeah, and also through that, we had been learning about goal setting. So I created a goal for myself, and I asked myself, what do you want when you go to Kenya? And my response was, I want to win. So yeah, so with that in mind, I was very determined to win. Even on the plane, I was just saying, you're a winner, you're a winner, you're a winner. Yeah, so with that in mind, before that, I had been reading about a book I came across that's called The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And it talks about how you you can, connect with your mind, unite with your mind, and then whatever you do or tell it, it manifests. And so, yeah, I tried to practice that on my way there. So I told myself, I tried to visualize also. Like, one thing the book talks about was the power of visualization. And so I was visualizing myself like on the podium, the first, second, and third, and I imagined how it would feel to be, wearing one of the medals, or how I'd feel in that moment. And I remember I was really struggling to get to the first one. I couldn't envision myself in first place. I was just like, it's so hard. How can I even get there? But yeah, one thing Tonga Mudo taught me was unity, between the importance of unity between mind and body. And I think that's one thing that's one reason I value Tonga Mudo, because I realized that whenever I want to do something, I try to focus myself. It was something I did subconsciously for a while, but then recently, especially being in Kenya, I realized that's one thing it's taught me, how to unite my mind and body. So yeah, at the end of it, after my fighting my body to envision myself in that place, I was able to get a bronze medal in the first try, the first category. And then the second category, thank you, the second category, which was sparring, I got second place, which was the silver medal. And then, thank you. And then for the third one, well, the first, was in the category of performing techniques. We call them the bonds. So I got a gold medal in that one. And yeah, so thank you. I'm really grateful to Master Nitro. Where is he? Master Nitro. Without him, I wouldn't really have been able to go. He really put in, oh my God, he put in so much for us to be able to go. He was telling me how he even took out like funds from his savings for us to be able to go to this tournament, and he just invested so much for us. And I was like, you don't even know me like that, but you're investing so much in me. And so I'm really grateful to all of his hard work. Thank you, Master Knight. I've never seen a man so dedicated to a sport, especially like a sport. And he has he's always working. I remember when I was trying to put my papers together and everything, he was sometimes I'd call him and he's working, but he's like, Unbi, this is what you need to do and this and that. And I'm just so grateful for him and everything he's doing for Tonga Mudo, not only in New Jersey, but all across America. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm honored and grateful that I was able to represent America, and I did it. So thank you all.
Could you please play the video? Oh, we're out of time. Thank you, guys. Maybe we can watch the video later. Yeah. Thank you, me. Thank you, team. Yeah. Thank you.
And complicated situations that exist among nations and melt into one family. Freedom. Hello, number 7. Hello, number 8. Number one.
Hi, my name is Jung Jin Ju. I'm representing Team USA from North America. We're so glad to come here. Some of us are here for a second year, and we're so happy to be here and kind of create this kind of family that we create every year. The environment that we have at this tournament is really beautiful, and as though, like, even though you see us fighting, you can really see that, like, throughout these days that we spend together, we really have time to unify and unite. And just as Master Hoshiko said, we create a family despite competition. So I hope that you can see that, this competition. Thank you.
I would like to express my deep gratitude to Kenyan government who has been supporting this Mombasa Open tournament for 10 years. Also Master Clarence Muakia Ingarwa. He's the content leader of Tongimudo in all Africa. His determination, he never changed. He invests so much. And also with the help of the media, all of you, now Tongimudo expanding so much. So Tongimudo is a unified martial arts, uniting a circular motion as the subject, linear motion as the object, centered upon unification principle. And Tongimudo was founded 1979, April 15. So by Dr. Sam-myo Moon, Mrs. Sam-myo Moon. So we want to express the spirit of Dr. Mrs. Moon through this tournament. This year is the 10th Mombasa Open tournament and commemorating 10th anniversary of Dr. Moon's ascension to heaven.
More entertainment, obviously, because we have a new entrance to this particular event this year. And being the 10th edition also, we are happy. We are happy that we have, it's a milestone for us as a country, as a host, for Mombasa also as a city. We hope we're going to get more audience from Mombasa and all over the country to come and watch their team perform, Jasiri. We are obviously planning to retain the title. I don't think anyone cannot plan to retain the title, but we've been receiving stiff competition from team from Philippines, of course, the Koreans, Iranians, Thailands, and also Japan. Yeah. So I hope this year we put our best foot forward and give our best as a team.
All right, so, well, once again, let's give a hand to our Tongamudo group for just their incredible performances. And with that, we're going to pass it back to our band for our musical offering.
All right, let's give it up for the Tongamulda team one more time. Yes. So actually, as I was sitting there, I got sick. My voice is not so well anymore, but the Spirit of God, we shall conquer and survive. All right. So our offering song is called You Say. I hope you can enjoy it.
All right, and with that, we're going to go into our main sermon for today. It's part of a 5-week series, and today we'll be hearing on the topic of my original self. I'd like to welcome Pastor Naokimi Ushiroda.
All right, good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Yeah, and thank you for the Tongyo Mudo team. They represented the U.S., and it's exciting that they also kind of came from our community, Clifton Family Church. So let's give them one more hand for bringing gold for USA. Last week, we had a chance to share on the topic of setting goals with God. For those who missed it, check it out. It's on our website. It was pretty good. So it's also foundational for today's sermon as well. Actually, this whole month, we're doing a series called Fresh Start. And the whole idea is to really set goals for the whole year, and taking a month to really reflect on what is it that I want to offer for this year. So it's a Fresh Start series. There's 5 sermons. Again, last week we started with setting goals with God, just putting the framework of how do you actually include God in your goal-setting process. Now today, I want to talk about your original self. And this is kind of important because unlike typical goal setting where we usually start with, okay, what do you want to do this year? What do you want to have, do, be? I really feel that the best kind of goal setting is really based off of self-awareness. And so today we're going to dive a little bit deeper into who you are. Okay, so a little bit different than typical services. This will be a little bit more interactive than you may feel comfortable. But don't worry, it's just asking a question and responding to it. Because I really want by the end of today, or this sermon, for you to come up with at least one, what I call identity statement. Okay? So I want you to leave this room with an identity statement in mind that you can actually think about and ponder this week, because that's going to be essential to set goals that are exciting to you. That's a really good fit. Okay, so that's really the outcome that I want for all of you. So as always, I like to start with definitions. So quick search online, and I found original. Created directly and personally by a particular artist, not a copy or imitation. So when we're talking about original selves, your original self, we need to find out who you are. That's not a copy or imitation, okay? And created personally by a particular artist. Which artist is that? God, right? We were created beings. God himself was the one who created humanity, humans, right? And each of us uniquely. And so it's important to remember that our origin, our design is actually divine. And self, this was also interesting, a person's essential being that distinguishes them from others. An essential being that distinguishes them from others. So in one sense, self, there is this aspect of uniqueness, okay? So we're going to go into, this question of who are you, really? Who are you? So I want you to take the next couple minutes, turn to a neighbor and ask them this question. Who are you? Okay, wait. Before you start, you have to ask the question at least 5 times. They have to answer the same question at least 5 times. and then see what they say, and then you switch. And the person who has longer hair can start the questioning, okay? Ready, go. Ask the question 5 times. Who are you? See what comes up. Okay, now switch sides. Now the shorter hair person asks the question, who are you? Keep asking for 1 minute. Who are you? Okay, 10 seconds left. Last time, who are you? All right, time's up. Time is up. Okay, if you can hear me, raise your hands high. And if the person next to you is still talking, close their mouth. Okay. All right, so I'd like to hear what you guys came up with. What were some of the answers of the question, who are you? What were some of the answers? Just shout it out. Yeah. Well, depends. What did they say? What did you say? So the question was, who are you, and what was the answer? Philip Soivan, okay. So that was one of the ways to answer is your name, right? That's one way to answer, who are you? What were some other answers? God's son or daughter, okay. If you believe you are God's son and daughter, you say, that's who I am. A caring woman, okay. Maybe a characteristic of you, a biological woman. What else? I am who I am. Whoa, that's very philosophical. Okay, that's too deep, man. I mean, actually, that's from the Bible, too. I am who I am. Yes? All right. Right, you are an original person, and you are of God. So there's many ways to answer this question. And there's no right or wrong way, but there's different layers, I would say, on what defines who you are. Some mentioned biological, nationality or ethnicity. I can say, I am a man. I'm Japanese American. So those are different ways. I'm 5'5", for those who are curious. Career. Maybe as someone said, who are you? I might say, I'm the pastor of the Clifton Family Church, or I'm an engineer, or I am an office worker. Or relationship with others. You might say, oh yeah, I'm a father to my 2 children and 2 cats. I didn't father them, but anyway, I own them. I fostered them, or I'm the husband of my wife, or I'm a sibling of 5 other brothers and sisters. So those are all relational identities. Or your religious belief. You might say from the get-go, I am a unificationist, or I'm a Christian, or I'm a Muslim. Faith is a very strong sense of identity. There's a strong sense of identity that comes with faith, and so you may associate yourself or define yourself based on your religious belief. And others mentioned some unique characteristics. I'm a caring person, or I'm humorous. So there's different ways that you can define yourself. So today, there's a quote I want to read here from the Divine Exposition of Divine Principle. Human beings are object partners embodied at the level of image, called individual embodiments of truth, and are discrete manifestations of the dual characteristics of God. I think someone was mentioning about their sense of identity with God, being created by God, and so on and so forth. This is straight from the Divine Principle, but the main point I want to draw from this passage is that we are each a unique individual truth body that reflects a certain aspect of God. Okay, so we are all these things that we mentioned earlier, biological, career, so on and so forth. But in the end, we need to know that we are reflections of our Creator in a unique way. Discrete manifestations of God. So, but in order for us to really kind of fulfill our kind of purpose or for living, for being here, it's really important that we take the time to understand who we are. What are our uniqueness that is a reflection of God? And the 2 questions I want to ask you guys today is, first, I want you to reflect on what are your gifts, okay? Actually, today we did buy a few sample sermon notebooks. So for those who are interested, in the back on your way out, you can purchase one. There's different options, but this is, I want you to take this time that you come to service as a way to reflect. It's not just listening to messages, but I want you to always be taking something away from the message that's personal to you. So I want to encourage you to always bring some kind of notebook, or you can do it on your phone as well. But please take notes and take time to reflect during the sermon or after, so that you can really get the most out of these messages. So take a few minutes, just a minute now. Write down at least 3 to 5 gifts that you have. And when I say gift, I mean like special talents, characteristics. What are things that you feel you've been gifted by God? For example, let's see. For me, let's see, what are my gifts? I like numbers. I like really training others, empowerment, leadership. I'm also a pretty honest guy, so on and so forth. So think of characteristics that you have that you feel are gifts. Maybe you're musically talented. Maybe you're humorous. Maybe you're persistent. Maybe you're giving. Whatever it is, what are your gifts? Take a minute. Write down at least 3 to 5 things. What are your gifts? What are my gifts? It would be nice if I can cue like reflection music. Maybe we can do that next time. Look at that. Amazing. You can write down in your digital notebook on your phone if you don't have a notebook. Let's take 20 more seconds. Write down anything else that comes to mind. What are your gifts? Okay, let's wrap up that section. Next, what I want you to think about is, what are your passions? Okay, now this is one of my favorite topics to talk about. So passions, what are passions? So passions are things that bring you joy, okay? So these are things that when you do, you kind of lose track of time. You feel like you're tapping into your creativity. You feel a lot of joy. Joy is, by definition, something that that arises when you interact with something that reflects your own internal or external nature. Okay, so what brings you joy is what is a clue to your passions. So, for example, for me, I actually really enjoy doing trainings for others or empowering others, right? That's one of my passions. I also like video games, but I have to find a way to make that work. I enjoy achieving things. You know, you can see my room. I have like trophies. I did Taekwondo, and you know, I have certificates from school, and I just like achieving things. It's fun. And I also really enjoy having time with my wife and do new things and experience things like that. So those are some examples, but what really sparks joy in you? What are your passions? Please write down at least 3 things. What brings you joy? What are your passions? Let's take a minute. Reflection music, please. Maybe for Tonyo Mudo, beating people up? No. Playing music, singing songs, cooking, eating, Netflix. I don't know if Netflix counts, actually. Okay, let's bring it back. Okay, next. So this is going to be an important step. Now I want you to look at your list of passions and select one. Circle it or bold it if you're digital. Oh yeah, we have people watching online too. So for those who are online, please follow up with all the exercises here as well. And thanks for joining. So what does it look like? First, choose one passion. Choose one passion. That's the first step. And then I want you to imagine, what does it look like if you were living that passion at a 10? Okay? Let's say there's a scale 1 to 10, 1 being that you're not doing anything related to that passion at all, and 10 being that you're fully living into that passion. So for example, if my passion is, training or empowering others, what would it look like for me to live that passion at a 10? Well, maybe that means I'll be, doing trainings 5 days a week, or maybe that's too much. Maybe once a week is fine. But if I were doing that and really training our members, our pastors, our field leaders on a weekly basis, maybe that's what it means for me to live that passion. Or if your passion is singing, how often do you want to sing? Where do you want to sing? What do you want to sing for? What does it look like to be doing that at a 10 for you? What does that look like? So I want you to imagine what living one of your passions looks like for you. Okay? And then we're going to create an identity statement based off of that image. Okay? So first, imagine. Raise your hand if you have some kind of image in your mind of living your passion, what that looks like. Don't worry, I won't call on you. Just raise your hand. Okay. Even if it's slightly blurry, but you kind of have an idea, raise your hand if you have an idea what that looks like. Okay, we have about a third of the room. We can give you another 10 seconds to think about it. Living your passion. What does that look like? All right. So now that you have that image in mind, we're going to capture that image in one statement. Actually just a few words. One adjective and one noun defining who you are, living your passion at a 10. So, for example, let's say, again, my passion being empowering, training others. If I were living that passion at 10, who would I be? And maybe that's in one adjective. Also, the adjective can be from your strengths, right? So remember, you create a list of strengths. So you can choose one of your strengths as the adjective and then add a noun. So who would I be if I were really empowering a lot of people? And maybe I am a leadership trainer, or what was it? What did I come up with? Anyway, something. Or let's say one of my strengths is humor, gifts. I mean, hey, it just has to apply to me, okay? Nobody needs to judge. I think I'm funny, okay? So that's my one of my gifts. And then my passion is spending time with my wife. So then maybe the identity statement would look like, I'm a fun husband. Fun, right? Funny, maybe. Funny husband. Anyway, fun, humorous husband, or joyful husband. So one adjective, one noun that kind of represents who I would be if I was living my passion at a 10. One more example. Let's see. I like achieving things, I said, right? And one of my strengths is being persistent. I mean, people who know me will tell you, if I set my mind on something, I will not stop until I achieve it. So I know it's annoying to my wife sometimes. But so for me, one statement that would reflect who I am is I am a persistent achiever, right? I like to achieve things, and I'm dogged about getting there. So who I am, if I were really living into that, is I am persistently achieving, or maybe I'm an extraordinary achiever. That's a statement that reflects me living into my passion. So now I want you to take a minute now to reflect on one adjective and one noun that reflects you living your passion, one of those passions out of 10. Go. 1 minute. You can get reflection music as well. Okay, let's bring it back. Oh yeah, these are some of my examples that I was gonna share. One thing is clarity is one of my gifts, so I put lucid leader, persistent achiever, fun husband. Okay, so those are some examples for me. Now, this is a verse that I found, 1 Peter 4:11. Let's read. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which God giveth, that God in all things may be glorified through Jesus Christ, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. So here's one thing I found as a challenge for many people, is that when we talk about gifts and passions, many, especially those who are religious, they kind of tend to shy away from that. And even if you're not religious, you're like, I'm not worthy. I have so many more faults than strengths. And you feel like, why should I talk about things that I'm good at, when I have so many issues in my life? But what I want to point out here is that the biggest issue with the fall was not that, how do I say? The main issue was that we disconnected from God. So it's actually not a bad thing to be proud of what you do or be excited about your achievements. The key is to connect it back to and give credit to the source, which is God. That's the issue. It's kind of like music. If you put it on YouTube, it kind of flags it if you didn't give the right credit, or if you're writing an essay and you say it's yours, but then you don't actually cite the source, right? Same idea is that as long as you understand that your gifts come from God, it's all good to show it off. Just give glory to God. Because that, to me, is true humility. It's about really honoring the source for your gifts and subscribing to fully manifesting that gift for the sake of others. So in here, the verse says, let him do it as of the ability which God giveth, knowing that your gifts come from God, and to really give God glory for those gifts. So really, I feel God's hope for each of us is, imagine if all of us here are living into our passions that are uniquely given from God, how much joy would we feel in our lives, and how much joy would that naturally spill over to those near us, right? So what I envision for our community is every one of us living into our passions, freely sharing that with others, and give glory to God and through that whole process. That's the kind of community I envision for us in the future. But in order for us to do that, it does require you to do your homework. It's not just, God, tell me what to do. I will obey 100%. Aju. No. Aju actually means that I'm taking responsibility. Your responsibility is to figure out the gift that God gave you and to develop it, cultivate it, find a way to share it with the world. That's our responsibility. And on that foundation that you're clear and you're working on your gifts, then it becomes so much easier for you to offer that to God and to work with God to find a way to share it with others. But finding your gift, cultivating it, that's your homework. That's your job. And so let's really look into what that is and really hone in on it and develop it. This is a quote from Father Moon. You must live your life in a way that God can move with you and history can move with you. God reveals his will to central persons in order to fulfill his providence. So I mentioned it already, God does work through central persons and each of us actually, in small ways and some big ways. But really for you to allow God to work more freely through you, it requires this self-awareness. So to recap, your original self, we talked about many factors that define us, and we created a sample identity statement. And the key is to acknowledge that your gifts come from God. So I'd like you to reflect on what does it look like to live your passion and be able to reflect and share right after this sermon. And the challenge for the week is I want you to come up with 3 identity statements and state them daily out loud in front of a mirror. So let's say I'm a joyful husband. I'm a joyful husband. I'm a joyful husband. Kind of like try that identity statement on and then adjust as necessary throughout the week. This is really important because this is a sermon series. Next week, based on these identity statements, I want you to come up with breakthrough goals. And I'm going to walk you through that process. So on the foundation of knowing who you are, your goal setting becomes much more powerful, much more stable and exciting. And so we're going to be doing that next week. It's going to be exciting to really set clear vision for what you want to create, achieve, offer in 2023. So that's a challenge for the week. Try to come up with 3. You can start with the one that you worked on today, but try it on for a week and adjust. So, last week we did setting goals with God. Today, my original self. Next week is going to be God's dream and mine. So we talked about breakthrough goals. So we're going to be thinking about what God really wants and what do I really want and how does that come together. And we're going to be creating customized goals for each of you. And then future sermons are going to include dealing with doubt. So as we set goals, one of our biggest challenges is the self-doubt that comes. And this is natural, but how do we actually deal with that? And finally, on January 29th, we are going to have a vision casting service where we're going to share about a vision for our community. Dr. Young will be back. He's actually coming back a little earlier than planned on the 25th. And we're going to have a large service. So it's not going to be here. We're going to actually rent a space. It's going to be a big deal on the 29th. And we're going to invite all the members from New Jersey to come. And we're going to have a great celebration on the 29th. Also on that day is we're going to be honoring Father and Mother Moon's birthday. Two Parents' Birthdays celebration. So that's going to be a big service. So, anyway, it's a new year, 2023. We just finished the first week, and I had a chance yesterday to work on my goals. So I'm feeling pretty pumped. But I really want you to taste the joy of, there's a lot of beeping going on. What's going on here? Goal setting. I know someone mentioned it's not their cup of tea, and that's fine. But there is a spiritual practice that connects with goal setting. And that is really uniting your mind and body, envisioning something that you really want, and working towards manifesting it. It's the exact same process that God went through when He created. And humans are the only creation that have been given the same quality to also be able to create. All other animals or all other creation cannot create, but only humans can. So, in reflection of God's identity, part of us, what makes us divine, is our ability to co-create. To practice that, you gotta set goals. You gotta set goals, because the setting of goals is practicing imagining something that doesn't exist yet and working towards making it reality. That's what makes you divine, your ability to create. And so I want you to really practice that and see how that is a reflection of God's nature by you creating your goals and achieving them this year. So let's be like God's children. Let's reflect God's image by being creative and really sharing our gifts with our community and society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pastor Naokimi. Yeah, on the topic of goals, I think just very much pertinent to the times. It's the start of the new year. And in many ways, I think just like myself, many of you set some goals, and then halfway through the year, or not even halfway, just a couple of weeks in, you kind of just give up. And the big part of it is, and what Naokimi clarified today was, when your goal is not based on your identity, it's not based on clarity in the identity, then you end up not following through with it, not based on who you are and what you're passionate about. And so, actually, we're going to go on to just have a quick reflection, just 1 minute on what does it look like to live my passion fully out of 10. So just take a minute to reflect on this point, on what does it look like to live my passion fully out of 10.
Thank you so much, Pastor Naokimi, for that amazing message. I feel so grateful that we have this opportunity every Sunday through this month's Sunday service series to really try to dig deeper within ourselves. For me, in my experience, sometimes we think that to find God, we must look outside of ourselves, that we're chasing God who is far away. But actually, to know myself is to know the divine nature of God. And sometimes that's scary, right? What's my passion? I don't know. It's really easy to feel at a loss for knowing. Maybe for some people, there's a little bit of fear of failure. But I want us all, whatever you are feeling in this moment, whether you know, you're like, I know what my passion is, and this sermon really helped me to know where I need to go. Or maybe you're not sure yet and you still need time to figure that out. I invite you to bring that to God. Bring that to your heavenly parent. That if you don't know, we can turn to prayer to really ask God's help. It's not us to do it by ourselves, but together with God, that is how we can really come into oneness. So I'd like to invite you all to please stand up and join me in offering this prayer. Dear most beloved Heavenly Parent, thank you so much for this time together with you. Through this sermon to really help each and every one of us to lean in and dig deep in search of our true connection to you, the divine, to find the divine within ourselves, that we may know through this experience, through living our passion, becoming one within ourselves, with our heart, our mind, our body, our spirit, that we become the manifestation of you in our fullest, truest way that you have intended for us. That your love comes through so clearly that we experience the true joy within ourselves of feeling that I have come into my fullest representation of you. Thank you so much for this time, and I pray that these words and this guidance and this sermon can really walk us through this week and this month on this journey with you. Heavenly Parent, with so much gratitude in our heart, but also we ask your guidance in those moments, in those details that we are unsure, that we can come to you and say, Heavenly Parent, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what this means for me yet. Please guide me through this process that I may continue to walk, to find you, and to grow closer to you. Heavenly Parent, we are so grateful that we have a path to really find you. And we pray for your divine guidance as well. Thank you so much. And we offer all of these things to you in my name, Nancy Jubb of a Blessed Central Family. Aju. Please join us now in unison prayer. Aju. Aju.
Thank you, Pastor Nancy. And with that, we're going to go on to our closing song. This is also your time to be able to offer your tithe, so feel free to come down the aisle to offer your tithe in the offering boxes here or make your donation online at any time. But with that, I'd like to pass it on to our band for our closing song.
All right, everyone. For our last song, we'll be singing Trust in You. Letting go of every single dream, I lay each one down at your feet. Every moment of my wondering never changes what you see. I've tried to win this war, I confess. My hands are weary, I need your rest. Mighty warrior, king of the fight. No matter what I face, you're by my side. When you don't move the mountains, I'm needing you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answer, as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. Truth is, you know what tomorrow brings. There's not a day ahead you have not seen. So in all things, be my life and breath. I want you, one Lord, and nothing less. When you don't move the mountains, I'm needing you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers, as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. I will trust in you. You are my strength and comfort. You are my steady hand. You are my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand. Your ways are always higher. Your plans are always good. There's not a place where I go will you be understood. When you don't move the mountains, I'm needing you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers, as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. I will trust in
All right, thank you all for joining us for our Sunday service. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and God bless you.
letting go of every single dream.
Our pastors are in the front. If you'd like to greet them, feel free to walk down to the front, up to the front, greet our pastors, and then head downstairs.